Hello, everybody. This is the very first podcast from Smedham's multimedia channel, which has YouTubes and text articles from all over the world and concentrating in Scotland. And if you're interested on one of my first tutorials focused on Scottish mental health and disabled rights. It's called The Forgotten People, Plight of the Long-Term Mentally Ill. The Forgotten People. When folk think of forgotten people, their first thought is often of the native Indians of our American neighbour. You know, the one we keep those trident missiles for. Yeah, I'm referring to a different group of people altogether, more near to home, namely the long-term mentally ill. In Inverness and Glasgow, we have seen some of our larger communities uprooted, deprived of funds and building spaces. I know less of the circumstances in Inverness, but as Graham Morgan of Hug Highlands Users Group said, the closure of it, Curious Cottage, will mean that many, many people will no longer have that service, and in their own words, will have nowhere else to go. In Glasgow, we have seen the closure of the Charlie Reid Centre, which was a flagship service for the supporting mind in Scotland. It was run, I quote, by the people, for the people. As Sandra White, the SNP MSP, noted at our meeting with her to help stop the closure. She said she would seek a seminar at the Parliament, but we heard nothing from her. I attended later that year, I attended a forum run by Glasgow Trades Council where I asked the question, what happened to the risk assessment report legally due by the council to report to the public at large? She said something to the effect that the membership did not want to take part in such a report. This was news to me, and I don't know what evidence she was using to assert such a blatant contradiction to the commitment of our membership to keep the centre open. Still, the question seems to have been laid to rest by the powers that be. One of the problems is that much of the Scottish Government's focus has been on recovery. It's less meaning for the long-term mentally ill, for whom one good day a week can be seen as a miracle after months of torment or anguish. This focus is also counterproductive for the long-term mentally ill and puts them under undue pressure to conform with market needs over personal needs. People that would find it very difficult to hold down a job or impossible don't need that kind of pressure in an area where suicide risk is high. Another thing I've noticed this time about consultations with the mentally ill through their organisations is that the government-funded agencies is that these meetings tend to attract those who are firmly fixed to established bodies for years and tend to comply to the funding requirements of such bodies. Those who actually need the services have a difficult enough time finding safe social places, which incidentally Raymond Bell, former head of the Glasgow Social Work Department, implied that the pub was such a place. Or actually said that the pub was where he meets people. The rollout of self-directed support was a shambles in Glasgow, against the Scottish Government's wishes, according to Michael Matheson, the then Minister of Public Health. Glasgow's then Labour-run council introduced service charges that were in line with the whole of the care component of high rate disability living allowance. This was outrageous and put services into the financial dock. Instead of services being free at the point of delivery, it became a competition for money. This alienated over 100 of our members, many of whom we heard ended up in hospital or in jail. At present, the remnants of our community is seeking help from the newly run SNP Green Council. Even though we are at square one or two in this game of snakes and ladders, where the ladders have been previously systematically kicked from us, our new group, Glasgow Minds, is hopeful that current reports such as Audit Scotland, which is critical of SDS, self-directed report, helps to focus the minds of our politicians on this national disgrace that neoliberalism has brought to our doors. Here are a few poems I wrote during that era, some of the better ones, I think. For her, at the Charlie Reid Centre. The loss is felt, but her words say less, as the nightmare flows to where Old Man River weeps. What is sorrow? What is it worth in these cold and cruel winds? As the angry sea shan't sleep, the storm shall rage so much before the calm. How I long for rest and what I knew once as love, my securest companionship. Yet there is resilience in my fond heart, so steeped in song and poetry. That kiss, that warm embrace, smacks of immortality and the vibrancy of romance. How I wish for no more tears and those happy moments in the sun. I saw you smile, song-filled evenings where you lit the stage and dared us all to laugh. Here among the forever missing, where souls seem lost and unforgiven, we shall make our earthly heaven, we shall overcome. This is another poem. The last one was called, for her, the Charlie Reid Centre. This one's called Black Triangle. Black Triangle. Labour brought in at us to humiliate, rip a hole in the welfare state, thousands dead within 3 full moons. Now the Tories police our protests with their Kettling guns. Black Triangle. The Nazis made the disabled wear it on their shirt. Now this new Holocaust is out to hurt the disabled, the unemployed and the underwaged. And a political circus the bankers have waged. Black Triangle. What we want is liberty, treated with respect and equality. They, the real scoundrels, are those on top. They are murders we have to stop. Black Triangle. Now we wear the black triangle with pride, showing that we won't hide from those who stigmatise, tell us lies, who are blind and indifferent to our cries. Black Triangle. The last poem I'll include is called Save the Charlie Reid Centre, Save Scotland. O Scotia, what is freedom worth if it does not defend those of lonely birth, those disabled in body or mind, where nature's path went so unkind? Remember Rabbie's ode to the mouse, and last forgets the bonnet louse. Poets now sign our petition, for they knew no fine well the Scots tradition. And those in unions come to our aid, for there is reason to be afraid, for if they get us one by one, in the end there'll soon be none. Bring back the spirit as Jimmy Reid, last to say he's truly deed. I saw him stoning beside Odrill Hill, organising what they canna kill, the mettle of the Scottish people, whose anger has begun to ripple against Tory cuts and New Labour spin. Our heritage is the will to win.